It's time to remember who you are and why you're here. Welcome to Soul Truth, where you learn that you are more than just a body. You are a luminous being with purpose and power. I'm Nancy May, energy practitioner and soul guide, here to help you explore the deeper layers of healing with practical tools, soul-led meditations, and heart-opening conversations designed to expand your awareness. If you're ready to live your truth and align with your soul, this podcast is for you. Opening intuitively can be beautiful. It can feel expansive, even amazing. It can also bring up some very real questions. How do you know what to trust? How do you tell the difference between intuition and fear? And how do you stay grounded as your awareness begins to expand? These are questions I hear all the time. So today, we're talking about discernment, integrity, and how to walk this path with wisdom and steadiness. So welcome back to Soul Truth. It's so great to have you here. And I invite you to take a breath with me, wherever you're listening from. Let your body arrive. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw unclench. And deepen your breath just a little. I invite you to arrive in the way that feels nice for you. In episode 5, we opened the door. We explored what channeling is and what it isn't. We talked about how intuitive information moves through the body, how we're all channels in different ways, and how to begin listening beyond the thinking mind. And today, we're going to talk about how to do that wisely. Today is the container. Before we go further, I want to offer something important. The practices and perspectives shared on this podcast are intended to support self-awareness, embodiment, and spiritual growth. They are not a replacement for medical care, psychological care, or professional support. If at any time you feel overwhelmed, dissociated, anxious, or destabilized, please pause. Open your eyes, feel your feet on the ground, and touch something physical while you return to your breath. You are always in choice. Intuitive work should feel grounding and empowering, not dramatic, chaotic, or fear-driven. Your nervous system sets the pace. You don't need to access everything at once. So what really is discernment? We're going to begin here. It is not mental analysis. It's not overthinking. Discernment is actually somatic. It lives in the body. When people ask me, how do I listen to my soul's compass? What if I misinterpret guidance? How do I know if it's my ego? I come back with this. Your body definitely knows before your mind does. Fear feels urgent. Intuition feels steady. Fear pushes. Intuition invites. Fear demands outcome. Intuition cares about alignment. And here's something very important. Following spiritual guidance is not about getting the right outcome. It's about becoming more attentive to what life is saying. There is no wrong path. There are experiments, there are lessons, there are adjustments, and discernment develops through lived experiences. You make a choice, you observe what unfolds, you reflect. Was that aligned? Was that ego-driven? What did I learn? Curiosity strengthens discernment, judgment weakens it. The interesting thing about judgment is it's said that it's hardwired. It actually evolves to keep us alive. If our ancestors didn't have fear, they probably wouldn't have survived. So when negativity, suspicion, or self-criticism arises, my invitation is not to shame it. Instead, thank it. Your nervous system has actually been trying to protect you. And once you do that, you can ask, what actually needs my attention right now? And what am I just ruminating on? One of the simplest ways to interrupt judgment is by naming it. There it is, judging. That alone calms the emotional centers of the brain. Then you can shift state physically by using your body. It helps a lot to move, whether you stand up or stretch. You change postures. You smell something that's grounding. Some people like the smell of coffee, that really brings them back. Discernment requires regulation. You cannot access clear intuition from a dysregulated nervous system. Spiritual hygiene is nervous system hygiene. Unless you're fully enlightened, and I'm definitely not, and have not personally met anyone who was, intuition is not a constant. We move along a spectrum of intuition. Some days we're much more expansive. Some days we're more contracted. Some days clarity flows. Some days it doesn't. The act of inquiry itself helps to expand you. When you ask, what am I feeling? Where is this coming from? Is this even mine? You move closer to the truth. You can also reflect on past times when your intuition was strong. I invite you to write about those moments. It can be quite powerful to do that. And when you reflect on these things, where did you feel it in your body? What was the tone of what you felt? What was the quality? Writing brings the body memory back. Integrity in intuitive spaces is an important topic. To me, it matters deeply. Not all intuitive information is necessarily meant for you. Not all teachers operate in integrity. Not all guidance needs to be acted upon. Staying in discernment keeps you in choice. When you leave discernment, you actually give your power away. And to stay in choice, it's really about staying in discernment. So if you happen to be a student of any sort of work, you can ask, is this teacher empowering me or asking me to follow? Are they humble or inflated? Is this teacher in integrity? Big egos can actually exist in spiritual places. If someone insists their way is the only way, I invite you to pause. Your inner authority is primary, always. I invite you to be sovereign over your life. So let's go ahead and talk about boundaries. A boundary is not something you impose on others. It's actually spiritual technology. It's an agreement you make with yourself. Boundaries reflect alignment. If you tend to compromise your boundaries repeatedly, your energy scatters. Your solar plexus chakra, your third chakra, is your energetic bodyguard. This chakra helps protect your moral code. And to understand if your boundaries are strong, you can ask yourself, Can I say no without fear or feeling bad? Can I stand up for what I believe? Can I move forward even if others don't approve? Strong energetic boundaries mean other people's emotions are less likely to flood your field. You are more likely to stay in your own energy. Everything you come in contact with affects you on some level, and it's prudent to be mindful. Notice who drains your energy and what situations leave you depleted. Perhaps imagine your energy like a boat, and if barnacles accumulate underneath, eventually movement becomes harder. I invite you to inquire, where did these barnacles come from? And which of these barnacles is it time to clear? Perhaps it's all of them. Perhaps it's none. So let's talk about authenticity and integrity. In order for relationships to thrive, it's wise to be honest. Authenticity means what I feel is what I say. Not harshly, not aggressively, but clearly. People pleasing erodes discernment. Being neutral, in other words, not reactive, actually protects your integrity. Neutrality is not passivity. Neutrality is a grounded steadiness. It's a place where nothing sticks. Some of you listening experience strong intuitive memories, perhaps past life impressions, sacred archetypes, ancient energies. I've had many experiences where I sensed record-keeping lifetimes or Magdalene energies or Egyptian archetypes like Sekhmet. Things talking about power, healing, fierce boundaries, things in India, things in Ireland. And these experiences are not about superiority. They're really about responsibility. If you feel entrusted with something, I invite you to ask, does this increase my spiritual wisdom? Does this make me more humble, more grounded, more compassionate? If in any way it inflates the ego, to me, that's a sign that it needs some grounding. When a mission is ego-led, it loses humility, it loses balance. When it's anchored in integrity, it finds stability. There's this concept, what I like to call a master teacher. And this master teacher is inside you. And I invite you to query, where do you feel this master teacher? Perhaps in the chest or the heart area. Perhaps the spine or the belly. The invitation is to train your mind to observe rather than control. The divine feminine, an aspect of all of us, reads the world through felt sense. And feeling is the language of the soul. If something is true, your body will feel it. This week, as you venture through each day, I invite you to notice, where do I give my power away? What situations actually trigger that? And what would aligned action look like instead? The work is to notice, and to do so with compassion, being very mindful of any shame or judgment that might arise, and allowing these denser personal commentaries to dissolve into a deeper level of self-trust and inner alignment. The invitation really is just to observe. Discernment grows through observation, which builds awareness. And it's through awareness that we can make different choices. utilizing discernment in a deeper fashion as we move forward on our paths. So let's go ahead and delve into a short meditation that focuses on discernment. I invite you to go ahead and get comfortable. Close your eyes to feel your body supported by the chair or the sofa or whatever it's touching. And to bring your attention to your breath, slowly inhaling through your nose and slowly exhaling. And say a hello to your beautiful feet, noticing where they are, whether on the floor or somewhere else. And then imagining roots descending into the earth from the bottom of your feet. And saying hello to Mother Earth. And then bring your attention to the bottom of your tailbone, your first chakra area. And say hello to this part of you. Allow a beautiful grounding cord to form. And allow this grounding cord to drop from your first chakra area into the earth below, connecting your physical body to Mother Earth, allowing Mother Earth to nurture you with her beauty and essence. And silently say to yourself, I am here, I am grounded, I am ready to listen. And then bring your awareness to your heart space, perhaps placing one or both hands on your heart center, and take a conscious breath. Now gently bring to mind a question you have. And in your imagination, move your hands away from your heart and place your question in your hands. And then listen to your body. Do you feel expansion, contraction, tightness, calm, warmth or coolness? Just notice what your body's telling you. And then ask, does this feel aligned with my deeper knowing in this moment? And notice what you notice. And if fear happens to arise, notice its texture. Is it loud, pressuring, demanding action? Does it have a self-sabotaging quality to it? Now notice if there's a quieter voice, a voice that's calm, neutral, and grounded. That's discernment. And if it's not clear yet, I invite you to let that be the guidance for now. There's no need to force an answer. In fact, when you do, you know it's the ego talking. Clarity feels steady. Fear feels urgent. And if neither is present yet, the guidance may simply be, not now. Imagine placing your question in a sacred container, allowing the honoring of divine timing. Then take a breath, slowly inhaling through your nose and slowly exhaling. Gently bringing your attention back to the room or space you're in. Perhaps wiggling your fingers and toes gently and opening your eyes slowly and moving your body in any other way that feels supportive. There's no need to rush your knowing. In fact, you can't. The more you effort and try, the more you actually push it away. You don't need to convince anyone else of your truth. You are the one you've been waiting for. Discernment keeps you honest, and it prevents bypassing. Integrity is what anchors your power so it doesn't become unstable. Boundaries can be how you care for your energetic field. And when your nervous system is regulated, your clarity stays intact. And as a reminder, opening intuitive is about becoming more fully embodied within it. It's not about escaping the world. As you continue on your path, I invite you to stay grounded, curious, and sovereign. Allow your mind to remember the truth of who you truly are. And ask yourself often, is this aligned with who I truly am? If the answer is yes, even quietly, you're on your path. For those of you who'd like to take this a step further, here are some journal prompts to help you integrate what you learned today. What did my body communicate to me? Where do I feel expansion? Where do I feel contraction? If I remove urgency, what remains true? And finish with, today I choose to trust my body's wisdom. Thank you so much for walking through the door, and thank you for learning how to walk through it wisely. I'll see you in the next episode, and may you remember who you are and why you're here. Thanks for joining me on Soul Truth with Nancy May. If today's episode inspired you, please follow the show on your favorite podcast app and share this with someone who is ready to remember who they are and why they're here. To keep exploring and receiving more soul-nourishing content, visit me at nancymay.com. Until next time, Keep listening to your heart and living your truth. Your soul knows the way.